Happy Saturday afternoon. I wanted to bring the last quarter of this wonderful book about the Queen of Song back from many years ago, Ella Fitzgerald. I tell you, two things. I forgot Andrea Davis Pinkney is the sister girl of probably 59 years old, and she's a prolific writer. And yeah, her husband Brian Pinkney, they collaborated in so many books. I want to say Edward Kennedy, the Duke Ellington, and so many other great publications. So forgive me, Andrea and Brian. You're doing a marvelous job here in these beautiful pictures. So we know that as a summary, Ella Fitzgerald was raised in poverty. Her mother died at an early age. I believe her parents separated, divorced, and it came a point of time when she was around 15 years old. She was living hand to mouth in the streets. She didn't have support, so she had to help run numbers. That's called gambling back then. And she would aid in just these type of activities that a 15-year-old back then should not have been participating in. But it's because she didn't have the support. She lived with an aunt, but her aunt could no longer support her. Well, anyway, remember Ella found out about the contest at the Apollo, and she loved to dance. And remember, she was dressed in clumsy clothes and awkward looking, and the crowd started to boo. And then right then and there, that's when she shifted, and she just started singing. And I guess she didn't know that she had a phenomenal voice. And just like Aretha Franklin, from my research, Ella Fitzgerald had a 3-octave range. Do you know how unique that is? To be able to sing in 1 octave, like so that's wow. That is, and to be able to sing strong in all of those octaves is really something unique. So she was really given a beautiful talent and gift. And we know that she had an opportunity to sing with a band, and she sang at Yale University, and she sang at the Savoy, which was in Harlem, this famous ballroom. And she was just given so many opportunities. And you see that she loved to dance and participate back then after she would sing. So she was someone who was very active, and she participated in contests of the bands. Yeah. Well, now we stopped here. Carnegie Hall Scat. Carnegie Hall is a very prestigious place to sing and to perform music at. I'll tell you, well, when you make it to Carnegie Hall in New York, this is very big. And she was there at least 20, it was either 26 or 29 times. Well, just know that it was close to 30 times that she was able to be part of Carnegie Hall. And what they are most famous for is that they were opened in 1891, and they have set the international standard for musical excellence as aspirational destination for the world's finest artists. So it's big to be able to go to Carnegie. Well, she went there, like I said, almost 30 times. All right, let's start right here. The Savoy was Ella's stepping stone. Thanks to nightly radio broadcasts from the club, Ella was the name sitting pretty on everybody's lips. Ella took the Chick Webb Orchestra to new heights. She was the orchestra star attraction. Nightclub owners had to wait in line to book the band. Some of them had never... Oh, I want to show you some of the pictures. Some of them had never had a black singer perform at their clubs. Ella's popularity showed them that a true star has no color. It just shines, right? It just illuminates. Ella could even put stardust in a ditty. In 1938, she and Al Feldman, a member of Chick's band, wrote and recorded one of her most famous compositions or songs, A Tisket, a Tasket. Man, when you're an alley cat like me, you hear all kinds of hopscotch chatter and jump rope jive. A tisket tasket wasn't nothing more than a nursery rhyme, chanted 1,000,000 times a day by kiddies from Sugar Hill to Hollywood. But to hear Ella swing that brown and yellow basket was a whole nother thing. A tisket, a tasket was a smash hit. In time, folks came to call the song a jitterbug spiritual. So people really resonated with it. And you see her little basket, a yellow basket, and bright colors. Look at this illustration. Oh my goodness. Well, look at this. Okay, upside down. Ella didn't shy back from any kind of music. Now, something about shyness. From my research, Ella was extremely shy in interviews because she was fearful of saying the wrong things, wrong words. But when she got on stage, that was her sweet spot, her source of confidence, being in front of people as far as performing, singing, and scatting. But to sit down and to share about herself, well, she wasn't shy about holding back any kind of music. When bebop became hotter than swing, jazz, and music lovers turned to Bird and Dizzy, Ella took her place on the bebop bandwagon. Bebop was jazz on the wild side. It was syncopation, locomotion, fast smack sound, down, dun, low down. It was slam bamming on the flitter tip. It was ham, hock, jabber. Oh my goodness, these words. Fever pitch. Dizzy Gillespie was bebop's main man. He turned jazz on its head with his trumpet. Yeah. He could blow notes into backflips, into flatted fifths, into popcorn blips that flung free from his horn. Dizzy asked Ella to join his band. He invited Ella to give bebops a try. To improvise, to sing the ping pong rhythms that gave bebop its sound. Look at that. So, I don't know if you know about the trumpet with the 3 valves. This is a very difficult instrument to play. But I tell you, very few people can master that and get the correct embouchure and the breath support. But for her to be part of his band was a big accomplishment. And look at that. Oh, they're riding the instrument. Ella went along for Dizzy's ride. One night, when the two of them started to jam, Ella made bebop her own. For Ella, scat singing drove bebop home. Ella used her voice in the same way Dizzy used the notes he made with his horn, like a runaway leaf flying high on a breeze. Now, when Ella performed, she let her lyrics go. She took her singing out to play. When Ella recorded How High the Moon, her scat swung to cloud 9 and back. So she was virtuoso. She had abilities, movement, remember, 3-octave range. So, on September 29, 1947, Ella and Dizzy headlined a sold-out performance at Carnegie Hall. I tell you, the international standard. They brought bebop to a high and mighty concert stage. Now, 1947, that was a big deal. But the show was far from uppity. It was fun. Dizzy's trumpet chirped, it zipped, it sputtered in double-time tempo. Dizzy bounced his bebop to Ella. Ella singing hung fast to Dizzy's rhythm. Ella shot him back her scat. Man, those two were making up music in the moment. It was invention. It was frolic. It was cooler than cool. Ella put scat on the map when she and Dizzy threw down their skippity, hop, doo-dee, bop. Every soul in the place slipped into the jam. Okay. I tell you. Oh, look at this beautiful dress. Oh, my goodness. So we know she's about to fly somewhere. Oh, it looked like Paris. Wow, isn't this beautiful? Ella soon had fans who loved all kinds of music. They came to call Ella by many names. The Queen of Scat, the First Lady of Song, a vocal virtuoso. Now I'm the keeper of Ella's flame, the teller of her tale, the Scat Cat. So kid, don't be fooled by phony felines. A cat by any other name ain't the same. Take it from me, Scat Cat Monroe. I was there with Ella from the get-go. Wow, did she rise, huh? Hold on. So, something about Ella, she just rose and she performed and sang all the way up to almost her death. She just loved singing. She loved sharing. And we know that she suffered from diabetes later on in life, and she had to get the lower legs amputated. But listen to something that was so beautiful, that was so inspiring. She had grandchildren, and toward the end of her life, she had resources. She would help her family, get out of financial situations. But she said, you know what I just want to do at this point of life, when she couldn't sing anymore, when she couldn't go on stage, is she wanted just to spend outside, letting the air hit her face and to hear her grandchildren's laughter. Something simple. Yeah, can we think of something that is just like, small, but actually big, that we can be thankful for? That's a lesson for us. A note from the author. Let's see what Andrea has to tell us. Ella Jane Fitzgerald was born April 25th, 1917, in Newport News, Virginia. She never knew her father, who separated from Ella's mother when she was a baby. Her mother, Tempe, died when Ella was a teenager. Yep. Excuse me. She spent the last years of her childhood living with relatives like her aunt. Tempe died. Yep. Soon after the death of her mother, Ella joined the Chick Webb Orchestra under Chick's tutelage. Ella's career took off. Something about Chick Webb, the percussionist, he had tragedy too, or challenges. He had tuberculosis of the spine. And if you look at pictures of Chick Webb, because he had that condition, it affected his growth. So he wasn't more than 4 feet something. I don't know if you can tell. But he still contributed. He still was able to enjoy music. So I don't know if you might have a physical condition. Don't let that stop you. Under Chick's tutelage, Ella's career took off. Ella Fitzgerald is perhaps best known for her scat singing, abandoning the lyrics of a song to use nonsense syllables to carry the rhythm. Though trumpeter Louis Armstrong is said to have originated scat singing, it was Ella Fitzgerald who made scat popular. Scatting was Ella's way of adopting her vocal style to bebop music, which in early 1940s was emerging as a new kind of jazz. In 1948, Ella joined Jazz at the Philharmonic, a traveling tour of jazz musicians. Conceived by music promoter Norman Granz, the Jazz at the Philharmonic troupe was created. in part to encourage racial harmony and to make jazz popular throughout the world. With Grimes' leadership, the musicians on the tour played to integrated mixed audiences. This was an uncommon phenomenon in the 1940s. I'm telling you. A few years later, Norman Grimes became Ella's manager. It was Grimes who realized that Ella could reach a wider audience by recording the songs of popular American composers. Grimes compiled the works of several greats: Irving Berlin, George and Ira Gershwin, Cole Porter, which Ella recorded for Verve, a record label owned by Grimes. During her lifetime, Ella's genius was rewarded with 13 Grammy Awards, a Lifetime Achievement Award, and countless other musical citations. In 1979, Ella was honored at Washington, D.C.'s Kennedy Center. That's another big deal as far as the arts, by President Jimmy Carter and First Lady Rosalind Carter, who named Ella one of the most talented American performers who had ever lived. And in 1987, President Ronald Reagan presented Ella with the National Medal of Arts to recognize her life's achievements. Ella Fitzgerald had been referred to as the undying flame that lights our national music heritage. Even after her death on June 15, 1996, her brilliance has continued to shine. Isn't that beautiful? And a note from the husband, illustrator, the artist, he said, to add visual authenticity to Ella Fitzgerald's story, I was inspired by the works of several Harlem Renaissance artists who were working when Ella Fitzgerald came of age in Harlem. One such artist was Aaron Douglas, who possessed an incredible design sensibility. Another artist of the period whose work I admire is William H. Johnson. He's great. He was great. Who brought tremendous energy to his painting and so beautifully depicted Black people. The color palette of the Art Deco movement, which was in vogue during Ella's youth, also served as a boat of inspiration as I told Ella's tale through pictures. Didn't he do a magnificent job? Yeah, that's tremendous. The paintings for this book were rendered in a scratch board, a whiteboard that's covered with black ink, then scratched away to reveal the white underneath. Once the scratch board drawings were complete, I then tinted them with transparent Luma dyes and painted them with acrylics. You're talking about a lot of work. Well done, sir. Well done, ma'am. Like I said, they live in New York City, the Pinkneys. They've done a wonderful job. Like I said, they had so many other books that they've worked on. One was Coretta Scott King honor. Oh, they received that. Another book was the Civil War story. Duke Ellington, like I said. Alvin Ailey. These beautiful picture books. So well done, beautiful couple. Keep on collaborating and making great publications so that people of all ages can continue to be inspired, especially by Ella Fitzgerald's life. Enjoy.